I'm going to try and embody Sheinelle Jones' powerful message about body image for an entire day. Have you ever looked in the mirror and felt like you weren't measuring up? Maybe you compared yourself to someone on social media, a celebrity on television, or even a stranger whose life seemed perfect through a carefully edited photo. If that sounds familiar, you're far from alone. Millions of people wrestle with body image every day, and it's a conversation that has become more important than ever. Recently, Today's Show co-anchor Sheinelle Jones sparked meaningful discussions by encouraging people to think differently about the way they view themselves. Rather than focusing on impossible beauty standards, her message centered on treating ourselves with kindness and recognizing that our value isn't determined by our appearance. It was a reminder that many viewers found refreshing in a world where perfection often seems to be the expectation. For years, advertisements, television, magazines, and now social media have shaped ideas about what beauty is supposed to look like. Filters, editing tools, and carefully staged photos can create unrealistic expectations, making it easy to forget that what we see online often isn't an accurate reflection of real life. Constant exposure to those images can leave people feeling as though they need to change themselves to be accepted. Young people are especially affected by these pressures. Growing up surrounded by endless streams of edited content can make comparison feel almost unavoidable. But adults aren't immune either. No matter our age, it's easy to fall into the habit of focusing on flaws instead of appreciating everything our bodies allow us to do each day. That's why conversations like the one Sheinelle Jones encouraged are so valuable. Instead of asking how we can look more like someone else, they invite us to ask a different question. How can we become healthier, happier, and more accepting of ourselves? Body image isn't just about what we see in the mirror. It's closely connected to confidence, mental health, and overall well-being. When we spend all our energy criticizing ourselves, we often overlook our strengths, achievements, and the qualities that truly define who we are. Confidence grows not from chasing perfection, but from recognizing that every person has worth beyond physical appearance. Changing the way we think isn't always easy. Society has repeated the same messages for decades, and those ideas don't disappear overnight. But every positive conversation, every act of self-compassion, and every decision to reject unrealistic standards is a step in the right direction. As more public figures speak openly about body acceptance and self-respect, they're helping to create space for healthier conversations. The goal isn't to ignore health or pretend everyone feels confident all the time. Instead, it's about replacing constant self-criticism with balance, understanding, and kindness. In today's video, we'll explore why this message has resonated with so many people, how beauty standards continue to evolve, and what practical lessons we can all take away from this important conversation. Sometimes, changing the way we see ourselves begins with changing the way we think, and that first step can make all the difference. To understand why this message has connected with so many people, we have to look at the world we live in today. Every day, we're surrounded by thousands of images telling us what success, beauty, and confidence are supposed to look like. Open almost any social media app, and you'll find carefully selected photos, polished videos, and highlight reels that can make anyone feel as though they don't measure up. The problem is that these images rarely show the complete picture. Many are edited, filtered, or captured under perfect lighting. Even when they aren't digitally altered, they represent only a single moment, rather than the reality of everyday life. Comparing ourselves to those carefully crafted images can create unrealistic expectations that no one can meet all the time. This pressure doesn't just affect teenagers. Adults experience it too. Whether someone is starting a new career, raising a family, or entering a new stage of life, it's easy to feel like appearance is constantly being judged. Those feelings can gradually influence self-confidence, relationships, and even mental well-being. Traditional media has also played a role over the years. For decades, magazines, television, and advertising often promoted a narrow definition of beauty. While the industry has become more diverse, many people still carry the belief that they must look a certain way to be accepted or successful. One of the healthiest shifts we can make is changing the conversation we have with ourselves. Instead of focusing on perceived flaws, we can begin recognizing the ways our bodies support us every day. They allow us to work, learn, laugh, hug the people we love, and experience life. That perspective doesn't erase insecurity overnight, but it can gradually replace criticism with appreciation. Another important step is becoming more intentional about the content we consume. Following people who promote realistic, positive messages can have a meaningful impact. Likewise, Limiting exposure to accounts that encourage unhealthy comparisons may help reduce unnecessary pressure. Confidence isn't something that appears overnight. It's built through small daily choices, speaking kindly to yourself, celebrating progress instead of perfection, and remembering that your value isn't determined by your appearance. The more we practice those habits, the easier it becomes to recognize that beauty is far broader than any single standard. As conversations about body image continue to evolve, more people are realizing that self-acceptance isn't about giving up on personal goals. It's about pursuing health and happiness from a place of self-respect, rather than self-criticism. That simple shift in mindset can change not only how we see ourselves, but also how we encourage the people around us. In the next part, we'll explore practical ways to build a healthier relationship with our bodies, and why focusing on overall well-being often leads to greater confidence than chasing impossible ideals. By this point, an important question begins to emerge. If unrealistic beauty standards have influenced the way we see ourselves for so long, how do we start changing that mindset? The answer isn't about pretending that insecurities don't exist. Almost everyone has moments of self-doubt. Instead, it's about learning not to let those thoughts define your self-worth. Accepting yourself doesn't mean believing you're perfect. It means recognizing that your value has never depended on perfection in the first place. One of the most effective ways to build a healthier relationship with your body is to shift your focus from appearance to ability. Think about everything your body allows you to do each day. It carries you through challenges, helps you connect with loved ones, gives you the strength to work toward your goals, and makes it possible to experience life's biggest moments. When you begin appreciating those abilities, your perspective naturally starts to change. Another helpful habit is paying attention to the words you use when talking to yourself. Many people would never speak to a friend as harshly as they speak to themselves. Imagine replacing critical thoughts with encouraging ones. Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," try asking, "What is one thing I appreciate about myself today?" Small changes like that may seem simple, but practiced consistently, they can gradually reshape your outlook. It's also important to remember that everyone's journey is different. Comparing your life to someone else's rarely tells the full story. Every person has unique experiences, challenges, and goals that aren't visible in a photograph or a short video online. Measuring your progress against someone else's highlight reel only creates unnecessary pressure. Real confidence grows from consistency rather than comparison. Taking care of your physical health, getting enough rest, staying active in ways you enjoy, eating balanced meals, and making time for your mental well-being are all forms of self-respect. Those habits aren't about meeting someone else's expectations, they're about helping you feel your best. Support from family, friends, and positive communities can also make a tremendous difference. Encouragement from people who value you for who you are, not just how you look, can strengthen your confidence during difficult moments. At the same time, offering that same kindness to others helps create an environment where everyone feels accepted. Perhaps the most powerful lesson is that beauty cannot be reduced to a single image or body type. Compassion, resilience, humor, generosity, creativity, and determination are qualities that leave lasting impressions. Those are the characteristics people remember long after appearances fade. Developing self-acceptance is an ongoing process, not a destination. Some days will feel easier than others, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is continuing to move forward with patience and compassion, celebrating progress instead of demanding perfection. As we continue, we'll look at practical self-care habits that support confidence from the inside out, and explore why true beauty is about much more than what we see in the mirror. As we continue this conversation, it's worth asking another important question. What does real self-care actually look like? For many people, self-care is often associated with spa days, skincare routines, or relaxing vacations. While those activities can certainly be enjoyable, genuine self-care goes much deeper. It's about creating daily habits that support your physical health, emotional well-being, and peace of mind. One of the first steps is learning to listen to your body instead of constantly criticizing it. Your body communicates with you every day. It tells you when you need rest, nourishment, movement, or a break from stress. Paying attention to those signals is an act of respect, not weakness. Another meaningful habit is practicing gratitude. Instead of focusing only on what you'd like to change, take a moment to appreciate what is already working well in your life. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it can help shift your attention toward the positive aspects of your journey. Over time, this practice can strengthen both confidence and resilience. Setting healthy boundaries is another form of self-care that often gets overlooked. This includes limiting exposure to negative influences, whether that's harmful social media content, unrealistic comparisons, or people who constantly criticize others. Surrounding yourself with supportive voices can make a significant difference in how you see yourself. It's equally important to remember that progress isn't always linear. There will be days when confidence comes easily and other days when old insecurities resurface. Those moments don't mean you've failed, they simply remind us that personal growth is an ongoing process. Treating yourself with patience during those difficult times is just as important as celebrating the good days. Redefining beauty is another powerful step. For years, society often measured beauty by appearance alone. But when you think about the people who inspire you most, chances are it's their kindness, courage, compassion, determination, or generosity that truly stands out. Those qualities create a lasting impact in ways that physical appearance never can. Confidence also grows when we stop chasing perfection. Perfection is an impossible standard, because it constantly changes depending on trends and opinions. Instead of trying to meet unrealistic expectations, focus on becoming the healthiest, happiest version of yourself. That goal is both realistic and deeply rewarding. As more conversations about body image and self-acceptance take place, there's hope that future generations will grow up with healthier perspectives. Encouraging children and young adults to value character, resilience, and well-being over appearance can help create a more compassionate culture, where everyone feels accepted for who they are. Ultimately, true confidence begins from within. It isn't determined by a number on a scale, a clothing size, or someone else's opinion. It's built through daily choices to respect yourself, care for your health, and recognize your worth beyond physical appearance. In the final part, we'll bring these ideas together, reflect on the lasting message behind this conversation, and explore how each of us can take small but meaningful steps toward greater self-acceptance and self-confidence. As we reach the end of this discussion, one message stands out above all the rest: the way we see ourselves has a powerful impact on the way we experience life. Confidence isn't something reserved for a select few. It's something that can be built over time through self-respect, patience, and the willingness to challenge unrealistic expectations. The conversation inspired by Sheinelle Jones reminds us that body image is about far more than appearance. It's about how we speak to ourselves during difficult moments, how we respond to setbacks, and whether we choose kindness over criticism. Those everyday decisions shape our confidence much more than any number on a scale or reflection in a mirror. For many people, learning to accept themselves is a gradual journey rather than an overnight transformation. There may still be days filled with doubt or comparison, and that's perfectly normal. What matters is refusing to let those moments define your worth. Every step toward greater self-compassion is meaningful, even if progress feels slow. One of the most valuable lessons we can take away is that our bodies deserve appreciation for everything they allow us to do. They help us work, learn, create memories, support the people we love, and pursue our dreams. When we shift our focus from appearance alone to overall health and well-being, we begin building a stronger foundation for lasting confidence. It's also important to remember that beauty cannot be measured by a single standard. Every person brings unique qualities into the world. Compassion, resilience, integrity, humor, creativity, generosity, and determination all contribute to the kind of beauty that leaves a lasting impression. Those qualities don't fade with time, they often become even stronger through life's experiences. As society continues to move toward more inclusive conversations about body image, there's an opportunity for each of us to play a role. We can encourage friends and family instead of comparing them. We can celebrate progress instead of demanding perfection. And we can remind ourselves that our value has never depended on looking like someone else. Imagine what could happen if more people replaced self-criticism with self-respect. Instead of spending energy chasing impossible standards, we could invest that energy in personal growth, meaningful relationships, good health, and experiences that truly enrich our lives. That's a goal worth pursuing. The next time you catch yourself focusing only on your perceived flaws, pause for a moment. Think about everything you've accomplished, every challenge you've overcome, and every reason you have to be proud of the person you're becoming. Those achievements tell a much more meaningful story than any reflection ever could. Confidence doesn't come from being flawless. It comes from accepting that you're human, recognizing your strengths, learning from your struggles, and continuing to move forward with courage. That's a mindset available to everyone, regardless of age, appearance, or background. If this conversation resonated with you, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What has helped you build confidence or develop a healthier relationship with your body? Share your experiences in the comments below. Your story could encourage someone else who needs to hear that they're not alone. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more inspiring conversations, uplifting stories, and thoughtful discussions. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for the watching and subscribe.